What's up, guys? Today we're going to be talking about a bunch of cars while playing some Halo. If you see a bunch of grunts in the background, that's probably because they're trying to cheer on their one leader that's cockeyed like he's dead. But, that's just something else in the game. Today we'll be playing while talking about cars. If I go quiet, I'm focusing, and I'm not that good at this game, so don't judge me or the man that's playing either.
So, if you look in the background, you can actually see them lighting up the crowd with plasma grenades.
Wait, does that mean that they're just gonna kill themselves?
I think it's just all gonna go off at one part and just kill their only leader.
There is one thing you have to say though.
What?
Is that first of all, our cars now probably wouldn't be the way they are without Ford. Second of all, V8s wouldn't be the way without Ford.
Yeah, especially without Shelby. Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, oh my God, Shelby. Dude.
He did amazing.
Yeah.
Is pretty much the 50s. The best car I feel like in the 50s was the Cadillac. It was a big, huge metal tank, and it somehow still rolled for muscle cars. Yeah. So I have to really shout out my Camaro, 1969 Camaro, really amazing car. It looks nice, it looks crisp, and one of my favorite cars of all time, the 1969 GTO Pontiac, the Judge. An amazing car, right? It looks amazing, and all around is awesome. There's many more, like a 1966 Mustang, and a lot more different kinds of cars that really came out, like the Mercury Cyclones, and just a lot of
Jaguar.
Oh yeah, lots and lots of different cars came out, and heck, even the 1960 Corvette was amazing.
It sucked.
No, it actually looked amazing.
It looks amazing. It sucked.
And why is that?
Because they didn't tend to the consumers. What they did is that they tried making a completely race car, so it bombed in sales. Though it wasn't that bad of a car and it looked nice, but it bombed in sales because it was more of a race car than it was anything like a luxury car and fast car. So people didn't want to buy it.
Huh.
It was good though. It was good looking.
Yeah.
It was decent. I mean, for that time. Headshot. Continue what you're gonna say, or
Oh yeah. So, and then kind of in the 70s, I think the amazing 1971 Dodge Charger Super B. So the 70s was the declining years of muscle cars, right? American muscle. They weren't as good as they were in the 60s, in my opinion, and in many other people's opinions. But I really enjoy the 1971 Dodge Charger Super B. It actually has an optional engine that gives you 425 horsepower, which is a lot more than its leading competitors in that rate. So that was pretty nice. And then there's the 1970 Barracuda, which I think just kind of says a lot about its culture. It kind of looks like that more disco-y type car, and less serious and mean. It just looks more like you're probably going to the disco. 1970 Barracuda.
and then so it was like all the old Mustangs, how it has that really long back end.
Yeah.
But they made it longer and a little bit different, and more slanted and stuff like that. So then it could go around Talladega as fast as other cars. And it was called the GT Gran Torino. The 69 Talladega one, I love that one. And then 70 and 76.
Yeah.
Those look nice. And then I think after that they remodeled it and made it into the Starsky and Hutch thing.
Yeah.
It was really good. And then the Mercury Cougar, that was really nice.
Yeah, I do like that.
Yeah. We were almost gonna get one. We're gonna trade our Mercury for it, our Grand Marquis for it already.
Oh really?
Yeah, but they never pulled us back, so
Oh. really, I didn't really like in the 80s cars or the 90s. I wasn't really a big fan. I mean, the McLaren F1, I mean, if I had to say for 90s, I think the McLaren F1 would take that spot. It's a pretty nice...
Buddy.
So, Chance, do you have anything to add? Maybe for like the 80s or 90s? Do you have any cars that you like in that time period or anything else to add?
I have a couple of them. The Fox Body is one of the ones that I like. It's pretty cool. At the time, it was very unpopular, as you can see, because it's basically a square and a bunch of triangles. But it did become one of the biggest drag platforms on, you know, racing and stuff like that. And then the second one really isn't a car, but I'll talk about it briefly. It's the 86 Bronco, which I have, and it's pretty cool.
Okay, nice. So, I was kind of looking and comparing, you know, if you're thinking about like a nice sports car, I was comparing the Corvette Grand Sport to other cars. So I was comparing the Corvette Grand Sport to the Lotus. So with the Lotus, of course, you're gonna get a lot more handling because it's a lot more. I think it's a decently smaller amount of weight for the Lotus, right? The Corvette is a lot more heavy than the Lotus is, so you're gonna be able to handle a lot more with the Lotus. You're gonna be able to brake faster with the Lotus, but with the Corvette, you get that extra horsepower, which is always really nice. And to be honest, you're gonna beat the Lotus out in a drag race, right? You're gonna be able to really beat it out, but turning wise, probably not as much, and of course braking with the Lotus. So the Lotus is probably more of like this, I wouldn't want to say elegant car, but I mean, it's a lot lighter and it can handle better, but it's not as fast and I guess mean as the American Corvette is. But that nice Corvette Grand Sport has a nice little menu system. You can actually record on that Corvette Grand Sport. The little touchscreen in the middle of the console, you can actually tap a little thing, it'll bring up this menu, and you can actually record it and send it to all your friends, which is a really nice little feature. And the interior looks really nice. It has a convertible top, but no back seats. Compared to the Lotus, it's a lot more basic inside, and it has some back seats. But I mean, the space for the back seats is very bare minimal, and probably would not recommend anyone sitting back there. So, anything to add about any of those cars?
Yes, I actually do.
Okay.
It's like the scenario with our new American muscle, the Dodge Demon.
Okay.
How if you face it, it's going to be very powerful and in a drag race. But if you talk to anyone that's driven one, if you try taking any turns with it, it's such a behemoth and has so much power that it just spins the wheels and you might spin out.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of the car reviewers are like, okay, I will go wide open, but it's down a straightaway. They're not able to go around corners. They're just going to lose control.
See, the Corvette isn't, you know, behemoth in any means. It's still a nice sports car and it can easily turn, but just not as elegant as the Lotus can.
Well, yeah, it's power to weight ratio. Like
yeah.
The Lotus may have a smaller engine, but it also has less weight, so then it's more nimble. But the Corvette has a lot of power and a lot of weight too, so then it's gonna be nimble in certain cases, but it's also not gonna be as nimble as the car.
Yep. And then also I compared the Corvette to the F-Type Jaguar. I don't know, the Jaguar is actually more weightful, is more heavy than the Corvette is by 500 pounds. The F-Type is, which I thought was kind of surprising, but I mean, it sounds nicer. I personally like the look of the Corvette more. It looks more of a sports car to me. The F-Type looks more of like a luxurious car and not so much as a really I guess a sports car as much as the Corvette is. But I mean, the cool thing about Corvette is they have a couple different modes that you can do with that car. Some different driving modes. But I mean, I don't know. The F-Type does have more horsepower than the Corvette does, and does beat it out in a race. So if you're looking for more speed-related sports cars, then the F-Type is your guy. So, yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say that a lot of these sports cars that are coming out are making it to where luxury is a higher priority than actual performance.
Yeah.
Functional, form over function. And talk about motorcycles real, just like a tiny bit.
Okay.
But they do it a lot in motorcycles, like scrambler builds and cafe racers. They make them where they look good, but they don't actually operate as great. Like racers. Racers make their cars look really nice in a lot of cases, or they make them look really trashy, but kind of look like fast and furious. But in the end, their car's not going to do anything. They're not going to make it on the track. They're probably laying their car down with the track.
Yeah. I mean,
that's why the McLaren Sienna has such a big thing about the way it looks and how controversial it looks. Oh my God, just let them build the car. The reason why everyone was saying that type of stuff was that they didn't say, hey, this car looks really nice, but it's not going to be able to put down time on the track. It was able to put down time on the track, but not look as great. Like on the thing, you get a lot more track, really sharp edges. But with that car, you can see a little bit of a bubbling and sharp edges together, and it just puts it together.
Yeah. Yeah, I do have to say I am a big fan of McLaren, and I'm really proud of McLaren because really you didn't hear too much about them, right? Like, and they're not a company that's been around a long time, like let's say Ferrari, right? They've been around the block a few times, but now if you're considering buying like a supercar, you're going to be looking at Lamborghinis, you're going to be looking at Ferraris, and now you're definitely going to be considering McLarens and that field. McLarens, I feel like you get more bang for your buck than most other companies give you. The McLaren 600 LT, which is by far my favorite supercar, has the exhaust pipes coming right out the back, and it shoots fire out. So I mean, it's pretty cool looking, and it actually has some performance benefits to that. It's not all, you know, just looks.
Actually, I don't think they did, but that's actually a thing that they use in drag racing. Is the reason why there's small cars that have a lot of power. The reason why the exhaust pipes come out so short instead of like coming to somewhere else. The reason why they're pointing down like that is so that your tires are actually more planted to the exhaust power.
Interesting.
Did you know that those engines push like 11,000 horsepower? Yeah. They made a fuel that is super like combusted and like gets eaten up really fast, and half-mile drag races can use up to, I think they said like 5 or 10 gallons. Well, is it gallons? Is that what we measure our gas on? Gallons?
Yeah.
Or is it? Okay.
Wow, Chanson.
I can't remember. Okay. You're the one that didn't know what a rotary engine was, okay?
But I know what our gas is measured. Nah, Chanson, it's measured in fluid ounces.
I thought it might have been. I don't know why, but I thought it might have been measured in liters.
We're not in Canada.
We're not in anywhere other than the U.S. basically. Because us and like what 2 other states use this freaking system, the standard system.
Yeah.
I'm killed by the same guy like.
And not states, by the way, Chanson, countries.
I said.
I think you said states, didn't you?
I said countries.
Oh, you did.
I was like, okay, then he's correcting something. But what was it? You want an I don't like? is that no one bought any hatchbacks like the Focus RS and those things.
Uh-huh.
So now they're getting discontinued.
Oh, really?
Yeah, all of them. Ford's like, nope, I'm done with the cars. The Ford Mustang.
I feel like hatchbacks go so nice in the Northwest. You know what I mean?
Dude, they're all-wheel drive.
Exactly.
And they're like performance, dude.
Hatchbacks go really well in the Northwest, like for luxurious cars. I feel like, and even I feel like the F-Type can do good in the Northwest. No, actually not. It's all right, but I've heard a couple things where people actually enjoy the F-Type. And then also speaking of how you were talking about muscle cars, today's muscle cars, I really fell in love with the Hellcat. The Dodge Charger, a Hellcat. I really the Challenger. Sorry, the Challenger SRT Hellcat. I really fell in love with that car. It looks really nice. I think they did a really good job with that car.
The Demon. They're calling the Demon the last true muscle car because of the way it looks and the way it is. Like they put the boat basically giant engine and made it go fast. Like that's what muscle car was.
Yeah.
And they're calling the rest of them a sub car of a muscle car, calling them muscle cars, because they've become less of a big boxy thing that like drag race and do things like that.
Yeah.
And more like how the Mustang, like if you look at it, like the 2005s, they were like big and bulky, and they were big and bulky until like 2013s, and then they started swapping over. And all that. And now they can take corners, but still, like they're not a true muscle car.
Yeah.
They're basically a pony car. Kind of like how the Challengers become. Like the way it looks just doesn't look. What? This is real.
Alrighty. So quick question for you, Chanson. What's your favorite supercar? I'm just a little curious.
What's my favorite supercar?
Yeah.
Oh, Ford GT.
Ford GT? Which one?
2017.
Nice.
Well, actually, the 2015 Ford GT. No, not the one. I mean, the.
Nothing really.
There's the Dodge Dart, which was actually a small compact muscle car that was really cool and came in a package like the Demon, and it was actually really fast for the time. But Ford was being stupid and was like, hey, let's release the Maverick to combat the Dart, and didn't release any high performance packages. Like they had the Scrambler and the Grabber and stuff like that, but it wasn't big. Let's see.
Well, I mean, in the 1970s, the Roadrunner was alright. The Roadrunner.
Say it was alright.
It was alright.
How dare you?
I don't think you know what I'm talking about. Like the crappy, not like the one with like the cool, the wing on the back, but like just a really basic 1971 Roadrunner Hemi.
Oh, I know. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Not what you were thinking. Well, but anyways, the 1969 Daytona has a nice wing on the back and a nice pointed front.
Yeah.
Which looks pretty nice.
Yeah.
The engine is awesome.
Have you heard of a Australian manufacturer by the name Holden?
Nope.
Oh, they're part of GM. And they were making really cool cars. Like they made a newer age type of Ranchero and El Camino and stuff like that, and it looked really nice. And they made a few cars that were really nice, but then, you know, they stopped because they're small people in GM.
Yeah.
Because GM is all this and that. Also, another car that was really nice in the, I think it was just late 80s and early and mid 90s. It was the Buick Grand National, and it was a really cool car. And the Buick Grand National was basically a normal-looking car if you didn't get it in black, and it was basically a sleeper. It was really fast. and it was almost as fast as the Corvette of the same year. Like, it almost beat it in a drag race. Bone stock, both of them. And then they created another one where they're like, you know what, I'm pulling out all the stops, we'll put everything we can into this thing to make it go fast. So they did, and they called it the GNX. And the only reason why our markets didn't get to see it is because GM's flagship car, the Corvette, was slower than it. So they're like, you know what, no, we can't have this. You're not going to take a sedan and beat our flagship car. So we're just going to, you guys, however many you guys made, they're going to get put in a lot, and you guys can use them on your personal use. You're not going to make any records, not going to do anything. You're just going to put them in a lot. Screw you and your fast sedan.
Nice.
And then, I think it was the C5 and C6 Corvettes that they say have the, like, gained the most popularity for the Corvettes. Like, they're the reason why they become super popular.
And also, one of the 1980s Corvettes.
Yeah.
Oh man, what was that called?
The C4?
Man, I wish I could remember the name.
Yeah.
Hold up.
You know what car I think is underrated?
What?
You know what car I think is underrated?
What?
The Taurus SHO, or the Show. Most people don't know about it, but it is a normal sedan, and it has 278 horsepower.
Alright, I think that's all we're gonna have for today. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. And anything else to add, Chanson?
Yeah, we don't know a bunch about cars, but we do know a little, and we can have a discussion. So, you know.
Yeah, we know enough.
To see it.
We know enough to get through a video, I guess, and talk about some things. So I hope you learned a little bit more about something and maybe took some joy from our conversation. So, catch you on the flip side.
Russians.